I realize that this video is just coming out of nowhere. And I promise I will have a video on my channel about where I've been and specifically why I haven't been on this channel. But right now I just have a lot of stuff on my mind that I just kind of need to vomit out without any other outside opinions, any judgment, any advice. I just need to purge it from my system. So that's what we're gonna do. And if that doesn't interest you, you don't have to watch. I just really need to get this out of my system. Basically, I got in a sort of fight with my dad today, and I posted about it on social media, just really vaguely. And then I left a comment. I was like, I realize this is really vague and angsty, but don't bother asking because I really don't want to talk about it. And I don't know. I know that I personally, and I've witnessed this happening in other situations, when somebody says they don't want to talk about it, people assume the worst. They think they're in a really bad place. You know, they don't want to talk about it because it's just really difficult to talk about. And therefore I need to ask them if they do want to talk about it and just offer that I'm here, you know, and try to sort of help them out because something bad could happen. But that's not always the case. And it just really got me thinking about how we are so encouraged to share our problems with everybody, especially if you have a history of mental illness, because when you do have mental illness, you know, a lot of the times you sort of keep stuff bottled up and it just sort of bubbles and bubbles and bubbles and then flows over and you have a breakdown. And so people are like, you have to talk about your problems. Every little thing, even if it seems insignificant, it might not be, and you should share it with someone. And that is something that I've sort of been learning to do over time, is share my problems with someone and feel comfortable being open about things that are on my mind, things that are bothering me. And it's taken a while. It's taken a long time to sort of get to a point where I am comfortable doing that. But I think that you can sort of get to a point, or at least I have gotten to a point, where I have a support system and I know I have people that I can talk to if I need to talk to them, if I need to talk to them. But, and honestly, I just realized this today while I was driving home. You don't have to share everything with everyone if you don't feel the need to, even if you just don't want to. I think you sort of go through that really long phase a lot of the time where you don't tell anybody anything. And then you learn to sort of open up and you get to this point where you're completely open and you have, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 people that you share all of your problems with, and you get their advice, you get their sympathy, you get, you know, their perspective on what's going on in your life, and it can really help you solve problems. But then I think the next stage, which I've never been in this stage in my life, which is why it's such a huge realization to me. I don't know if, you know, other people are like, well, duh, that's just how the world works. I didn't know. I'm just now realizing this. But you sort of get to a point in your life where you're able to figure things out on your own. And you don't need to tell everyone everything. And that's not to say that you sort of go back to not telling anyone anything. That's just sort of finding a balance between those two things, where, you know, one is sharing nothing and one is sharing everything. You sort of meet somewhere in the middle, maybe not exactly in the middle, maybe meet more over here, more over here. I don't know, whatever works for you. But I've noticed that I have gotten to a place where if I need help with a problem, I have nothing holding me back from asking for help. And I have the select people that I can ask for help. I don't have to ask all of them. I can ask all of them if I want. I can just ask one person, you know, but I have that option and I do use it. I do ask people for help quite often. But there's also quite a few situations where I'm having a problem or I'm having an issue and I don't feel the need to discuss it with anyone. And that's like my post on social media. That's not me saying don't ask about it because I'm already, you know, in the worst place and you're not going to change my mind. That is just me literally saying that I have something on my mind and I felt the need to kind of share it on social media, and now I am able to deal with it on my own. And I don't want your opinions, I don't want your perspectives, I don't want your advice. I am completely capable of solving this problem on my own. But if I do realize at some point that I need a second opinion, then I will ask for it. But if I don't ask for it, like, you don't have to offer, because I know that I have these people in my life that I can talk to, and I'm comfortable talking to them, but sometimes you just don't need to. I don't know, like I said, maybe this is something that everybody knows already, but I'm just now realizing it, and it's really sort of changing my perspective on who I am as a person, because I spent a lot of my life being completely independent and not wanting anything to do with anybody, and then I became very dependent on people, and now I'm sort of learning that you can depend on people, but you don't have to, not all the way. You know, you can sort of find that balance that works for you. And this is not to say that everybody is going to live like this and get to this point in their life. I know that some people are very open, and with every single problem, they do like to take it to other people and gain more perspectives and then sort of figure out, you know, what's going to work best for them in terms of resolving the issue. And then there's people who just don't like other people telling them what they should do or what they think they should do. And they just solve things by themselves, you know, and that's totally fine. But I just think that for the majority of us, we do have to sort of find that balance. And we are encouraged, especially as like introverts, to sort of be more open and be more real and honest with people. And I don't know, I'm not an extrovert, but I'm sure that extroverts have that sort of judgment of like, you should keep some things to yourself. And I don't think that's right. I think everybody should just do themselves. You know, like, you do you, but they do themselves is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, that's just my realization. So I think that, you know, obviously if your friend posts something angsty on social media and they say, don't ask me about it, I think it's important to still, you know, remind them that you are there, but not be like, hey, you need to talk to me, because they don't need to. Maybe they don't need to. And, you know, maybe they're fine just sorting things out by themselves. And I think that we need to sort of give people credit in being able to resolve things by themselves, because we always think that, like, you can't solve a problem by yourself, you need help. You know, help is available, so use it. And it's like, I understand that help is available, but that doesn't mean that I have to use it every single time I have some little thing, even if I already know what I'm going to do to resolve it, or even if I don't know, even if I'm just sort of working through it by myself, but I know that I don't want anybody else's opinions and advice. I've been filming for almost 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm just, literally, this is just word vomit. It's just stuff that I have realized and that I think might be beneficial to some people who are feeling like they're being pressured to always talk about everything, or who are sort of pressuring themselves to never talk about anything. I think you do eventually find a balance. And that's really what life is about, right? Balancing everything, I think. Well balanced is an IB learner profile word. Balanced diet, balanced eating, that's a thing. So why not balanced problem solving techniques, right? Why not? I don't know. I feel like I started out strong and then I just sort of died towards the end. Yeah, like I said, I will make a video explaining where I've been, because I do want to come back to this channel. I sort of gave up on it for a little bit because I just wasn't really feeling it. But I feel like I want to come back, and there's gonna be some changes, so prepare yourself for that. If you watched until the end, thanks for listening to all of this. I hope maybe it helped someone, or maybe it helps you realize that I am a complete moron and you want to unsubscribe from my channel. If that's the case, then good for you. You realized something today. I don't know. I'm gonna go. Bye.